My name is Igor Katlar. I am the project manager for the city of Ann Arbor and will be working on this project. Also with me, I have Nick Hutchinson, who's a city engineer, and Heather, who's our host of the meeting. I think that's the right word for it. And she will help me with running this through the Zoom system. The project we are talking about, the Earhart this phase of this project, the Earhart Road resurfacing, is from about 250 feet north of Geddes Road to approximately 250 feet south of Green Hill Drive. So this section of the road is what's going to be done, what's scheduled to be done in the spring, summer of 2022 construction season. And most of this work will include removing and replacing the existing pavement, which is in a condition that it needs to be replaced. Also, this work would give us opportunity to incorporate a bike lane along this corridor as it's recommended by City of Ann Arbor Comprehensive Transportation Plan. In doing so, we kind of do the improvement for the corridor as well as resurfacing and providing the new road in this area. We are right now in a design phase of the project. We don't have the finalized plans. We are going through the design phase, and we're looking into what can be done and what needs to be done in order to achieve those objectives. I will try to switch to right now to share my screen. I'll show the area which we're gonna work on. And right now, let me know if you can see that. Can you see it, Heather? Okay, so this is the area we're talking about. Slightly highlight. I'll zoom in and I'll show you. So this is where approximately the road work would start, and it will continue through this section of the road, which is currently just 2 lanes, and just south of Green Hill Drive. So this is the work which we are working on right now, designing right now, and scheduling for next year. Let me see. So basically, do you see another picture? So this is what we plan to have in this area. So right now, this road is 1 lane in each direction, and pretty much all we have is a road surface. And the plan is, this is the future cross section. We're still going to have the same format for the cars, 1 lane in each direction, but we would add another bike lane on each side of the road, which would require us to go slightly wider because the road is fairly tight in most of the areas. I mean, we do have a fair amount of right-of-way, so we do have a room to do it. But this additional work in some areas would also require us to remove some of the trees which growing right on the side of the road. So we are working with the City of Ann Arbor Forester to identify what needs to be removed and how to, if we are to remove the trees, how to properly mitigate for the trees to be removed, and to make sure that it's done in accordance with the state and the city requirements. But this is what the future cross section going to look like. So that's what we are working right now, designing it. The other thing which I wanna make sure people aware of is that once we're going to get into the construction phase of the project, again, we don't have exact date yet, which we will share once this information is going to be available and the project going to be bid. Once we're going to get to this phase, the one question people are concerned about, what kind of traffic control going to be implemented during the construction. So right now we are looking at pretty much detouring any of the commuter traffic. So people who don't live in this area would need to be detoured, because we will close the road for through traffic. Anyone who needs to get in, whether you need to get into your in your subdivision or into your property which is on the road, would be allowed to do so during the construction. The services which are happening during the mail delivery, refuge pickup, all that stuff, that would be uninterrupted. We'll make sure that it will work through the construction, but no through traffic would be allowed because of the nature of the work we're going to be doing out there. Meaning that if someone uses this portion of the Earhart to get from Glacier to Geddes, they would need to detour around it. And that is kind of in a short, that's pretty much what this project is entail, and what I wanted to share. Oh, one thing I wanted to share also, that this project will receive the federal funding, MDOT participation. So it's not going to be totally funded by the city of Ann Arbor, but also going to get outside funding, which is always good, because we can do more work with our money when someone else helps us out. Again, I would like to make sure that people understand that the design is not finalized. We're still going through it. We're still working on it. This is just opportunity to share the information about the upcoming project and what we plan to do in this area, and to a certain degree how the residents and some commuters would be affected once this project going to get into the construction phase.
So we do have a number of questions about plans to pave the rest of Earhart Road. Why are we not paving the entire road? What is the plan for resurfacing Earhart on the north of Glacier Way? The condition is horrible, it says, particularly on the southbound lanes. Why stop at Green Hills? The road between Green Hills and Glacier is in terrible condition. Why leave it? So those are some questions. If you could answer.
Yeah, I can jump in on that. We are planning to repave the northern section of Earhart as well. That's going to be the following year. Part of the reason for that is that we had some federal funding available, not enough to do the entire street, but it was enough to do the southern section. That southern 2-lane section that we're focusing on for 2022 is what I guess I would consider somewhat easier than the northern part. For the northern part, we'll going to be having some separate meetings to discuss that, talking about the Glacier Way intersection and some potential improvements for that, possibly discussing some reconfiguration of the lanes to the north of that. There's probably a lot more pavement there that is needed. So it's a little bit more of a complex project that, and it will be following the year after this one. So this I anticipate will be a relatively quick one.
And then another question is the paving contractor completion date open-ended like the Geddes Road?
Yeah, that's I know that's always frustrating. The Geddes Road project was always scheduled to be completed in September. It is a little bit behind. The contractor has installed the water main out there. They're waiting to get their testing of the water main passed before they can put into service. So that's been a bit of a delay, and that's why it appears that there's nothing going on. There essentially isn't much going on right now until the testing comes back favorably. Once that's done, which we're hoping that'll happen this week, then they can connect the water main and finish repaving the road. And we're expecting that by the end of September at this point. Our contracts do have completion dates in them. They're not open-ended. Unless there's unusual circumstances, we do enforce those. It doesn't mean that they'll complete them by the completion date, but there are penalties if they don't typically.
Thank you. Another question is, will there be a Michigan U-turn to get into the subdivisions?
No, we're not planning to install Michigan U-turns out there. The road gonna get wider, but widening gonna be mostly to add the bike lanes on each side. So if people can imagine, center of the road pretty much gonna remain in the same location, and we add some additional width on each side of the road to allow for the proper bike lanes and the proper shouldering and stuff like that.
Okay, another question is, from the diagrams, it looked like the widening would occur more on the west side of Earhart Road. How far into the east side do you expect to widen the road?
Again, just like I mentioned, the look may be slightly deceiving, but the widening going to be equal to pretty much on each side of the road, mostly equal on each side of the road. We're not talking about maybe plus minus some inches like there, but the road gets equally wide.
And then again, a widening question: will Earhart Road be widened into 2 lanes each way plus bike lanes?
No, that's not. This part of the road will stay 1 lane in each direction, plus bike lanes out there. So we're not turning it into a highway with 2 lanes in each direction.
And then here's a question about the school drop-off and pickup. Will this be impacted? And if so, how will that be handled?
The Green Hill, we are stopping short of the Green Hill Drive. So I don't know how much. Obviously, it probably going to be impacted to a certain degree that people who bring their kids to school and picking them up would have to go around through the detour. But I think by the school, the pickup and drop off should not be affected. And then if something needed to be done during the construction, just like I mentioned earlier, just like mail delivery, garbage pickup, anything like that, if there's need to be something needs to be done for the school drop off and pick up within the construction area, we'll work with the school and make sure that kids are safely accommodated and they can, the school buses can go through and stuff like that.
I would add too that we don't have a final schedule for this yet. We're doing this project we're combining this and a contract for doing some water main and resurfacing work on Platte Road as well. And the whole schedule for when each of those is going to happen hasn't been finalized yet, but there's a possibility that this work may happen in the summer too. Not during the school season, so we'll have to wait and see how that works out. So.
Along the lines of schedules, we do have 2 questions about from start to finish. How long do you expect this to take, and then how long will it take to finish the 0.9 mile of Earhart Drive?
So I would. One of the thing about this particular project, because it's resurfacing, it does not include any utility work. So it should go slightly quicker than a project which includes underground. So it's, I would estimate at this point, we're probably talking about months to months and a half of construction to get this work done. Again, the good thing about it that unlike what's going on in Geddes right now, we don't need to wait for the utilities to be fully tested and connected before the surface work can begin. So in this case, it's only the surface work. We're not going down into the utility. We're not testing utility doing stuff like that. So hopefully it would be a little bit more straightforward.
And then we have a couple concerns about it becoming a congestion bottleneck when the Toll Brothers development comes in. That's a comment. And let's see, there was another one related to that. Question is, what consideration is the project giving to the planned Toll Brothers new subdivision construction anticipated next year on Earhart Road?
Yeah, I can field that one. The proposed development by Toll Brothers has been reviewed by our traffic engineers. There's based on the analysis of the number of housing units and whatnot there is no need for an additional lanes on that section of Earhart based on the traffic analysis. We'll also be coordinating with that development depending how far it is along to make sure that their utilities get utility connections are made out on the street before we pave the road, so it doesn't have to be cut into as well. So we are aware of it, and we'll coordinate with them to the degree that we're able to do so.
If I may add, this development is still haven't even been through the planning commission. So what was proposed quite possibly they're gonna have some changes. So
yeah, and that's a related question. What is the time frame impact of the 660 Earhart Road development, which I assume is the Toll Brothers Road.
Right.
But you're saying that we don't have a sense of that quite yet because it hasn't really gone through the process.
It hasn't gone through planning commission, so it has quite a few steps before what they have on paper gonna materialize into actual construction. So the project which we are discussing right now is definitely happening way before that.
Okay. And then a question about the road conditions being better. Why are they better in Ann Arbor, Charter Township, and Superior Township?
I don't know why they better in Ann Arbor Township, but I can tell you that City of Ann Arbor, and you can probably talk a little bit more about it. City of Ann Arbor does a lot of road construction and road improvements, and within the last few years, it's as a resident, I can tell you, sometimes it's been difficult to drive around how many roads have been improved and been worked on. So we are doing quite a lot of it, and we plan to continue to do a lot of this work.
Yeah, I don't have data for road conditions in the townships surrounding here that are under the jurisdiction of the County Road Commission. So I can't really compare. I guess I don't have an answer for that right now. Without having that data.
And then here's a question about tree removal. Will trees on Earhart Village property be up for consideration, RE removal?
Earhart Village property. The only trees we're talking about are the trees within a public right of way. We're not just where the roads getting widened. Not the trees which are on private property or outside of the right of way.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Igor, I don't think we have a lot of tree removals on this.
We
some
do
that
have
are too close to the road, maybe.
We do
but
have
not a lot.
some which are very close to the road, and actually to the point where I mean, if they're not obstructing the side distance, they're getting very close to it.
Yeah, or they're a hazard for motor vehicles.
Correct. And like I mentioned, whatever tree is going to be removed, we are working and we'll continue work with the city forester to make sure that if tree is removed, it's properly mitigated, meaning that something planted in instead in a proper location, which is not going to be a future issue for motorists or for the pedestrians.
Okay, the next question is, will there be any study for the traffic safety at Green Hills Drive, Walden Woods Drive, and Earhart Drive? This intersection becomes dangerous when multiple vehicles comes to this intersection, specifically in the morning during office and school hours.
This intersection is outside of this project, but you know, definitely we can you know, when the next phase comes along, then city traffic engineer would definitely participate in a design phase to make sure that whatever is done on the next phase of the project is in improvement, whatever needs to be improved.
Yeah, I know that, and I know that's come up internally among staff already. So I think there'll be some consideration given for that and some analysis done on it. Can't say what the result would be right now, but it's something that's being looked at.
And then the last item is a comment, not necessarily a question, but there's a concern about the construction traffic from both the development and the resurfacing. The developer believes construction could begin this fall.
If you're talking about 660 Earhart development,
I think that's what it's referring to.
I don't know if this can begin this fall. I'm not working directly with development. I'm working with our city engineers who's reviewing their plans and stuff like that. I don't think they at a level where they're ready to break ground. But because
yeah,
like I said,
I don't know. I don't know that we know exactly what the schedule is, but we're working with our planning department and you know, the engineers reviewing the private development as well. We'll continue to coordinate with that. So.
Yep, we definitely do. And as for the construction traffic during the Earhart road resurfacing work, I mean, obviously it will be construction traffic. It will be noisy. It will be work going on. You will see big vehicles coming in and out to this part of the street. Yeah. It's unavoidable, but that's part of every construction. We just want to make sure that while it's happening, the residents still have access to their properties, to their driveways or to their subdivisions, and we'll ensure that it's happening.
And then we have a comment about the map, that it's not clear that what work is being performed when they look at the city map website, and colors should be corrected for the type of work. So we'll need to
I'm assuming that's referring to the map that's on the engineering webpage, you know, regarding upcoming work. I'll pass that information on. I know they were trying to get the right number of kind of I guess the right level of distinction between different types of projects, whether utility projects, road projects, or both. A lot of projects don't fit very neatly into categories. So I know it was a bit of a challenge trying to figure out how to color code that map, but I'll pass that information on, or those comments on.
And those are the questions and comments for now. There's another one. Oh, somebody says thank you.
Welcome. Igor, I'm assuming you shared contact information in the meeting invites and such.
Right, meeting
so
invites.
if there's additional questions, if anybody has further questions, comments, concerns, please send them to Igor. We're, you know, in the process of getting the design put together for this, so you know, it's not too late to give your feedback if you come up with something else.
Yes, and I also want to add that there is a, everyone who got on this meeting, you got through the project webpage, which had a link to it. And as we're going to go along, we're going to add some additional information to the webpage. So as design progress, then more information would become available.
We have one last question that came in about the length of the resurfacing project. Length of this resurfacing project is Geddes to Green Hill Drive, south end or north end?
Correct. It's just north of, from about like I mentioned, from about 200 feet north of Geddes to about 200 feet south of Green Hill Drive. So,
about where the road starts to split for the boulevard.
Correct. And yeah, and Yeah, so that's this phase, this particular phase of the project we're talking about. That's the one we planned for next construction season, next year construction.
No other questions at this moment. So again, if anything comes to you, you can contact, oh, there's another question about how long will this take?
Like I mentioned earlier, we would have a better idea when we have a complete design, but the project of this with this amount of work, we're probably talking about months to months and a half of construction.
And then another question about when will this project begin?
At this moment, we don't know. We like we mentioned earlier. This project is scheduled for 2022 construction season, which is spring summer of 2022. But just because we are making this project, or we're gonna work on this project together with a Platte Road improvement. There is a chance that it may be at the front end of the proposed project on Platte involves some water main work, some sewer work, and road resurfacing. So it may be on the front end of it, it may be on the back end of it. But we will work with contractor. We have some flexibility on that account, and we want to make sure that if there is a chance to minimize the impact, meaning possibly having this work done outside of the school season, then we are best to try to do so.
Yeah, and we can work that into the contract requirements too. So we just need to figure out what the best schedule is, area wide.
Okay, no more open questions right now. So again, if anything comes to you, you can contact Igor. Oh, there is a comment that just came in. Please keep in mind that 3 schools and 2 colleges are in the immediate area: St. Paul, King Elementary, and Green Hill Schools, plus Concordia and WCC traffic.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a very good point. And that's like we hadn't really dug into the schedule yet, but those are all very good reasons to require the work to be done during the summer months prior to school being back in session.
And then somebody else just commented that, thank you for including the bike lane. Just wish that more would be done with this project to the north, but I understand.
And we will get to that. I mean, that will be the following year in case you came in late. That was an early question. North of Green Hills Drive there and up to the highway is scheduled for 23. So there'll be some more discussions on that coming up later this year or early next year, maybe.
Okay, no more questions or comments at the moment. All right, so if anything does come to anybody, you can always contact Igor at any point. This meeting was recorded, so it will be posted on the website. So you can share this with neighbors if other people who weren't able to attend are interested in what the discussion was. There, you can refer them to the project website and they can view this video. And again, you can share along that they can contact Igor as well.
And when we know more about the schedule and other details about the project, we will post those on the website too. So check back there occasionally for more information.
Yeah, we'll make sure that this information is shared and everyone is notified when we get to this point.
Okay, I think that's it. I don't see anything else coming in. Thank you. Kim. Okay, great. I guess we could stay on a few more minutes if anybody has, just to see if anything comes to anybody, but otherwise I think this is it, unless Nick or Igor, if you had anything else that you needed to share.
I'm good.
Yep, that's again, the only thing I want to say that it's still we're still working on it, so it's not finalized yet. So there is still work going on. So
Yeah, this is just the beginning. Okay, great. Well, you know, we can maybe stay on another minute or so, but otherwise, I think this is good. Okay, great. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording now.